Hi everyone, I'm Jen Seal, and I want to welcome you to today's practice. So we know that all yoga is good yoga. That's my motto anyway. But there's different forms of yoga. There are styles of yoga that are meant to energize. They might be very cardio, and they're meant to be very uplifting. And then there's other styles of yoga that are very calming, very nurturing, very peaceful and restful. That's what we're going for today. Okay, so it's a completely mat-based practice where we're not going to be doing any standing postures at all. It's kind of meant to balance. That's why I wore the shirt today. Your yin with your yang. So I've taught a lot of athletes, and I am an athlete, so I've gone through many training programs, and absolutely necessary to build in rest days into your training program. But even if you're not an athlete, if you are somebody who has a busy schedule, right? We all do. We have too much going on and not enough time, we always say, right? But you need to carve out that time for self-care. Yoga is a form of self-care. And so it's just a time for you to reconnect to your body and check in and see kind of like what you're feeling and where you're tight. And, so the poses are not held for as long as they are in yin, which in that class, it's between 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes longer, if you can imagine, but it's truly therapeutic for the body. Today, you will need, I would just say, a blanket, one that you can kind of, not like a huge comforter or anything, but something you can contort into, to prop yourself up or to support yourself or just to make you more comfortable. Be comfortable in what you're wearing. Leave the attitudes at the door. This is a non-competitive practice all the time. And we're going to be starting in an inversion, which is, again, so therapeutic. We'll be there for 3 minutes, which is optimal, longer if you can, right? So you'll want to be near a wall or have a chair, or if you're in your bedroom, your bed is fine, or your couch, anything that you can just put your feet in, elevate your feet up onto. Yeah, so I don't know. I'd say if you could at least squeeze 1 rest day into your week, if not 2, right? You got 45 minutes. You can do it. You can find time. Make it a priority to do this practice. And if you know someone who should be doing this, have them check me out. Otherwise, self-care can be anything. So just do you. Do what feels right for you. That feeds your soul. For me, it's yoga. Yay. All right, I'm gonna hop on my mat. Let's get started. Things out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna be using my blanket underneath my sacrum today, and I just have it folded sort of halfway and then folded again. So it's just about, I don't even know, 1 inch high or so. I'm going to be going to a wall, but if you're doing that as well, your blanket is about 1 foot away from the wall, okay? So if you're at your bed or whatever, be 1 foot away from your bed. If you're near your couch, be 1 foot away from your couch. And you're just going to put your feet up on top of whatever is in front of you. So if you happen to be at a wall, the way to get into it is you sort of plop yourself up onto that blanket, lay down, and then swing your feet over. Okay, and then you can push into the wall, lift your hips up, place that blanket directly underneath, like support your low back and your sacrum. So hopefully you can hear me here. If it feels like you're too close, like your legs are stressed out at all, then you can move farther away from the wall or your bed or whatever. Move your head a little side to side, just loosening the neck. Reach your arms up for the ceiling, press your palms together and just rotate them side to side, like a little pendulum. don't have to go far. This is just releasing your shoulder blades away from the back and allowing them to spread out nice and long. Reach your arms out to the side. Take a nice deep breath in, open the mouth, let it out with a sigh. Do that again. Breathe deeply into the nose, let the belly rise. Just feel the breath fill up the body with your breath. Exhale out of the mouth. One more like that. And just feel your body begin to slowly settle in. If it feels good for you or right for you, you can bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Or you can bring the feet all the way wide. If that doesn't feel good, bring them back up to center. I'm going to be here with a wide-legged stretch. So our feet are above our hips. The hips may be slightly elevated so that we might be allowing the blood flow to come down to the heart center, into the brain. So just feel that. Feel the circulation of your breath just sort of coming in and being flushed out and coming in and being flushed out. So you're flushing out negativity, tension, stress. So my legs now are beginning, they want to flop open. So I'm going to bring them back up to the center here. That feels better. Listen to your body. Begin to breathe in a way that feels organic for you. You might begin to feel your toes tingle as the blood comes away from the feet. Inversions are really good, specifically this one, for helping to increase digestion, to energize, but also to relax. And by energize, I mean you are allowing for tension to leave the body so that it's left, it's kind of like clearing traffic, you know. You're allowing for that blood to flow freely, allowing the energy and the prana to move throughout the entire body. See if you can feel your energy pulsing through your body. Closing the eyes if you'd like. Really allowing your forehead, your jaw, your cheekbones to release. Move the tongue away from the roof of your mouth. And maybe swallow to allow for your throat to relax more. Relax your shoulders, your hips. And with every exhalation, just feel yourself melt a little bit more deeply into the mat. And now for this last minute, I want you to just take inventory of your body from the outside in. So from your skin to your muscles to your bones to your mind. To your emotions. Just bring a little bit of gratitude that we showed up today and self-acceptance for all of who we are, that we are perfect just the way we are today. Not trying to change anything, we're just trying to be in the present moment. One nice deep breath in here. Maybe reach the arms of your head. Slowly begin to draw those knees towards your chest. And really important, slow transitions here, my friends. You rotate the ankles here. You rotate the wrists. Just slowly come onto your side body. Use your hand to press up. Just doesn't have to be pretty, okay? It just needs to be slow. Maybe unravel that blanket. I'm going to take mine and just unfold it so that it's a little bit more shallow for the head here. And find your space and lie down on your mat, your floor, wherever you're at. People ask me if they can practice yoga in bed. Yeah, you can practice a few poses in bed, but not usually a whole practice because it's just going to not contour. You want a firm surface to practice on, okay? Reach the arms back. Of course, you could do this in your bed when you wake up. This would feel really nice, right? Again, open and close the fists. You want to keep the circulation in your hands, in your knuckles, in your wrists. Rotate them around. And allow them to relax and focus on the feet. So draw your toes towards your shin, feel the calves stretch, point the toes forward. Again, flex. Your upper body is soft, point. And then rotate them around. If you can. My mat is a little sticky. You might have to lift one up and circle it around, lift the other one up. Good. Take your left wrist into your right hand. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Yeah. I want you to lift up, lift your chest up, and you're just going to shimmy your shoulders over to the right side. Bring your shoulders back onto the mat. I want you to think of a banana or a crescent roll. And then walk your feet to the right. This is going to create a little bit of a side body stretch for you. You can take your left foot on top of your right as long as your left hip is not compromised here. I'm going to keep my heel on the floor today. So both shoulders are on the mat, your butt's on the mat, okay? Your heels are on the mat. You're just stretching, breathing into the left rib cage. And then bring yourself back. So now you kind of have to shimmy yourself, reach, grab your left or your right wrist with your left hand, and then bring the shoulders back down to the mat and walk your feet over to the left this time. Now you're going to feel a nice stretch in the right side body. Again, you can imagine the shape of a banana. I think this is actually called bananasana. Bananasana? Yeah. I think it's the only pose that is named after a fruit. Come back to center. One more big stretch here and exhale. Hug those knees into your chest. And it's not about lifting the butt up off the floor. It's about elongating the spine. So before you draw the knees in, I want you to push the belly button to your spine. Push your sacrum, right, which is just above the tailbone. And then holding that, draw your knees in. So maybe they don't go all the way to your chest because you're trying to elongate your spine. You're looking up towards the ceiling, slightly tucking the chin towards your chest. Elbows can hug in to relax shoulders down. Breathing in, out through the mouth. One more breath here. So what's stretching? Right? Maybe here, the glutes and the hamstrings. Super great. And not difficult because we're on our back. Roll a little side to side if you feel inclined to do that. Massaging your lower back. Now, if you want to draw the knees in and down. Good. So let's just hug the right knee in itself, okay? Send the left leg down if that feels good. And then release a little bit and release your left hand down to your hip or down onto the mat by your side. And just begin to take some nice hip circles here. Now, I usually have to, you start small, your hand can stay on your knee to help move it, to help lubricate that hip socket. But I want you to start taking bigger circles. Okay, so you might have to let go. You might feel some creaking, go in the other direction. It feels good to maybe go all the way forward with it and wide, then do that. If you feel inclined again, you go to the other side. Woo! We don't want to make ourselves work too hard though. Bring it back in. Bring the sole of the foot on the floor and bring your right knee out to the side. Tree pose at the arms. Goalpost arms. Again, anywhere you start to feel tension, you have that opportunity to do something about it. So if this feels too intense for your thigh, you can bring the foot down closer to your shin. Right? You could place something underneath your knee. Maybe that blanket goes under your knee for more support. Continue to breathe. So our breath today is really just, we're not trying to do anything urgent with it. We're just trying to be mindful that we're breathing. Draw that knee back into your chest and bend your left knee. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. If you can grab a hold of the back of your calf, the back of your thigh, that's great. Some of you may have the capacity to grab your ankle. And again, opportunity here to just kind of open the toes. Stretching out the back of your leg again a little bit more deeply. And then bend the knee and cross that right ankle over your left knee. Use your right hand to push that right knee forward. To intensify, okay, you can lift that left leg up and grab behind the back of that left thigh. However, if this happens, to do that, that's no longer serving you. So I want you to relax your entire upper body here, or your foot's on the floor. And the closer you draw that left knee in, the more that outer hip is going to feel this stretch. And use your right elbow, right, to push the right knee away. Notice, again, we're here for several breaths. So what's stretching? What feels really good? Do you feel anything? You want to feel something. And release, re-extend, and draw it down. Take a nice big long stretch. You might feel a difference between the right and the left side right now. The right side might feel a little bit more like warm and maybe a little bit more stretched out, a little bit longer. What do you notice? Draw the left knee in. Now, if this is too intense for you, you can bend the knee, even keep the sole of the foot on the floor. Point and flex here perhaps, draw it in. And then slowly release and begin to create those circles. So right hand on the right hip to keep the right hip down. When we go out to the side, our hips have a tendency to lift off the mat. We want to try to keep it there. Belly button to spine, engage the core, and then just begin to take those circles. And then I'm going to release and just sort of let my leg muscles help me out here. Keep your belly button pressing down. You don't want to lift. You don't want to crane your lower back. So the circles may not be big, taking the other direction. Again, if you want to go bigger, go wider. Right? This isn't necessarily a go big or go home class, okay? Go big or go home, nah. What feels good? Are you getting stuck there? Good. Pause. Draw that knee, hug it in one more time. And then sole the foot on the floor, bring it to tree pose. Adding the arms. Maybe the arms just go wide, maybe the arms go all the way overhead. So tree pose is a standing balancing pose normally. We can get wibbly wobbly, right? Trees sway in the wind. So here we're very stable. So enjoy this beautiful tree pose on your mat. No struggle. Your inner thigh is stretching. That's what's happening here. And bring the knee back to center. Hug it back in. Bend the back or bend the right leg again. Bring the sole of the foot on the floor. Reach the left foot up to the ceiling and clasp the back of the thigh. Press that thigh bone back down into the socket so you don't want your butt lifted up here. Okay, so if you're trying to pull so hard that your butt lifts, do less. Okay, here, or maybe here, this is too much for me. Now my butt's lifted, it's totally uncomfortable, and my chest is lifting, my neck feels terrible. Bring it back down, shoulders down, wherever you're comfortable. Don't let your upper body be stiff. It's more now about allowing the breath to flow to that stretch. Imagine you could do that. Bring the breath right there. Cross it, left ankle over right knee, push away. So this is good for me, but I know I can go a little deeper. So I'm gonna lift my right foot off the mat and grab the back of my thigh. That's not accessible for your body today. No worries, just stay where you're at. Find your comfortable edge. Draw that knee as close as it feels good to stretch open that left outer hip. And again, the shoulders are not hunchy. Right? Relax the neck. This is called Reclined Pigeon. This is a form of pigeon. It's a form of opening those hips up. Which is a little good. Slowly release. Left leg goes up and down. Right leg goes down as well. Just sort of shake them out. Awesome job. So soles the feet on the mat, both soles of the feet on the mat. Let's lift up, a little baby bridge pose. The feet are inner hip width apart. Arms are on the mat. Push your feet into the floor. Just lift those hips up. Draw the knees forward. Squeeze the glutes. Chin to chest. If you want to intensify elbows, bend the elbows, fingertips reach up towards the ceiling, roll the shoulders underneath you, push and lift up a little higher. Don't let the knees widen open. Keep rolling your inner thighs toward one another. And relax. Just windshield wiper your legs side to side. Awesome job. So I'm going to just do one little baby twist here. So bring your knees to 90 degrees. Push your belly down to your spine. Bring your arms out to a T. Make your baby palms down this time. Secure yourself, support yourself. Take your knees all the way to the right side. Nice and slow. Now the tendency here is maybe for a little clamshell action. You may not be able to touch the floor. Right, and that left shoulder might lift up. So we want our shoulders just on the mat if possible. If that's not going to happen, bring it down closer to the body towards your glutes, okay? Or you can bring it overhead, see how that feels, bending at the elbow. If you need something for support between your thighs, if they're not together, right? You can place your hand there, support it with your hand. If you're not using your blanket as a support, you could use a blanket. But I want you to feel, if anything feels like it's like hovering or lingering or stressing, you're going to have to shift how you feel to make yourself feel more comfortable. You may look over your opposite shoulder if that feels good. Remain steady with your breath. Let's just take one more inhale and exhale here together. Slowly, head comes back to neutral. Left leg lifts, right leg lifts. You can take a tiny little roll here on the back. Massage, massage. Knees to 90 degrees. Belly tucks in towards spine. Arms out and hinge to the left. So here, I'm tighter over here on my right side, so I do have this little clamshell, so I'm going to place my hand in between for support. Look over your opposite shoulder. And my shoulder's sort of semi-lifted, so I'm going to bring it down close to my body. That feels better. Today was a rest day for me. I didn't do any long runs or rides. I just did a tiny little cardio workout to get my heart pumping, my energy moving. And then I did this class. So it feels really nice to give myself a day of rest. Take one more nice, beautiful inhale here. And exhale. So in yoga, generally the inhale, we are preparing, we're lifting, we're lengthening, elongating. And the exhale, drawing your knees in, is getting into a pose, like settling into it, or coming out of it. We don't want to be breathing in when we're efforting, right? No. Or rolling onto your right or left side. You're practicing probably at home, right? Not like your body's around me, you run into. Maybe your cat's on the one side. Come into just a nice, comfortable position. Awesome. Your palms together, your heart, bow your chin to your chest. So just check in here. Check in again. Do the little body scan. This is just a mindful recentering, allowing your brow to soften, your jaw to soften, your throat to soften. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Recenter. Take one more breath. Notice that you're breathing. Feel where your breath is going. Breath is so much a part of your practice. So often we hold our breath when things get difficult, and yoga teaches us not to do that. We learn how to breathe through difficult things. We learn how to breathe to create more clarity. We learn to breathe to create openness and spaciousness in the body. Feel all of that. Feel all of that. Okay. So with a nice, we're gonna just stay in our seated posture and do some seated work. So I'm going to place my blanket underneath me. Again, I'm going to fold it back to that thirds, and then I'm going to fold it into fourths. Okay. So now I've got a really nice little burrito here. I'm going to elevate my seat so that my knees, my hips are above my knees, and I can feel a nice, beautiful lift in the upper body to relax. So just take a moment here. Let's just take a moment to move a little side to side. Those of you that practice with me know that I love doing this. It's kind of opening this outer part of my hip. You can kind of bow your shoulders down as you come into one side. You can let your head be heavy if that feels good. Now I'm just going to press sides. I'm going to press into my right side and into my right knee and extend to my left. Extend to my right. Wherever you feel inclined to feel that stretch, you can even walk your hand up into your thigh. Push, lengthen. It's kind of like massaging, if you will. Good. And now let's just take the hand all the way down to the mat and reach the left arm up. Linger here for a moment. Linger here. I really kind of don't like that word linger, but it works. You just sort of hang out. Try to let your left cheek lift and come back up. Come into the other side. So I'm just slightly bending my left elbow, but supporting myself here so I'm not totally just dumping in, right? A little bit of support always. I'm reaching, reaching, reaching. I can really feel if you open your body up more so that your heart is facing, your sternum faces the wall or whatever's in front of you, right? You're going to get more openness. Good. Bring your hands in front of you. Bring your palms or clasp your hands together. And I want you to bow your chin to your chest and really press those hands away. Lifting up here, relaxing the elbows so you create space for your shoulders, and then press up to a level that's comfortable for you. If your arms straighten, great. If they don't, it's okay. Just open to breathe into the chest here. And then release those arms, bring your hands behind. Knuckles root down, again, interlace those fingers. And you'll feel it here, roll the shoulders back like you've got a pencil between your shoulder blades. And feel the chest in the front opening. So as you gently squeeze your shoulder blades on the back, you're building strength back there, while at the same time opening the front body, which you do a lot of forward sitting things or driving or running or biking where you're kind of in a forward position. This is great. All right, release and twist. So you're nice and long here in your spine. Your inhale is lengthening you, lifting you up, all the while feeling grounded here. And the exhale is moving you toward that twist. So inhaling, sometimes we come slightly out of a pose. Exhaling, we might go a little bit more deeply in. We call it kind of pulsing, like inhaling, moving out, exhaling, moving in. And you letting that exhale be the cleansing factor to detoxify and push out that tension and stress, okay? Anything you feel inside, it feels gunky, sticky, ooey, gooey, you put your name to it. We don't want that in there. Yoga helps us release negativity in all of its forms. And in our daily practice, my friends, daily life, it can be really stressful. On a daily basis, we might be met with things that are difficult, and our yoga practice is just a beautiful place to release that. Even if you can only breathe, come back to center. Take that blanket out. Just come on to all fours. So make your way onto tabletop pose. I'm just going to check the time. Okay. So at times we'll show up for class and we'll realize that we forgot our hair tie and our hair gets in our way, and that's can interfere with your practice. So can a short shirt. So notice that these things happen. They're just a natural part of things. So I'm going to keep my hair up here, so that's not going to be a distraction for me. Move your hips a little side to side. It's just like we did when we were sitting. We took some circles, just like we did with our legs when we were laying down with our knees. I want you to move your hips here, okay? The hips can get so tight, you guys, no matter what you do. And rest days are all about releasing that tightness it's like a reset button. And look down at your hands and make sure they're spread nice and wide and that they're slightly turned out just a little bit. You want to press those palms firmly into the mat to give you a nice solid foundation. Stay in a place if it feels good. If you're like, oh, if you find a sweet spot, so the outer part of my right butt is sort of really tense. We built some rock walls this past weekend, so I was crouching a lot. Good. And now sit back and just rotate your wrists a little bit here. Point and flex. All right, actually I want to do that exercise with you because I feel like our wrists don't get a lot of work. So either come to a kneeling position or a seated position, or you can just come up onto knees and shins. And I want you to bring your hands out in front of you and turn your palms up. So you're trying to touch your fingers to your wrists. It's not going to happen, right? Good. And then I want you to slowly, using your pinky fingers, starting with your pinky fingers, begin to wrap your fingers into your fists. Bring your thumb to touch your fingertips and then roll your wrists forward. And slowly unravel. Again, one at a time. Thumbs and fingers, fingers back, and then do it again. So little finger, ring finger, middle finger pointer, knock on the door, and lift it up and unravel. One more time. Forward, you feel a stretch in your opening your forearms, and unravel any way that feels right. Good, and then rotate the wrists around. The elbows come down, roll in the other direction. Bring your hands together, flip them up so that your wrists are touching, the back of your fingertips are touching, and then turn and rotate them up, kind of like that church and steeple thing, and then roll them forward. We're going to have our hands down and pressure on our wrists, so that's just a way to kind of loosen them up before we get there. And then relax and just shake it out. You can do any of that too. If you were like at the typewriter or the computer a lot of us are having to do online things today these days. Wrist work is a really nice thing to add in there. So that was an added I didn't expect you doing today, but there it is. Come back to that cat-cow. So if wrist issues are a problem for you, take your blanket, unravel it. So this way, sorry guys. Bring it kind of closer to you. So the lip of your blanket is such that your palms are on the blanket, but your fingertips are off the blanket. So you take a little bit of stress away from that serious flexion in the wrist. Right? Also, you can bring your arms a little bit more forward here to give yourself a little bit of an angle. That'll take a little bit more pressure off of your wrists as well. So push into the floor, lift the chest up, broaden across the collarbones, and drop your belly. Send your sitting bones to the back of the room. Exhaling, belly to spine. So this is cat-cow. We add the breath, so inhaling all the way to the top. And all the way to the top means you can't breathe in anymore, okay? And exhaling all, empty out fully. So feel your breath. Maybe it's audible here. Again, inhale. And even in this very supported pose, right? Our hands, our knees, our shins, our toes are on the floor. We are working with the breath. We can build inner fire here and keep that energy moving, right? Part of the revitalization process of rest. It helps to revitalize and restore. Good. And pause here. I'm going to have you step your right foot forward between your hands. So what we might do now is shift our blanket attention and awareness to our knees. Okay. And step your right foot forward. I just want to get to the front of the hips here. Take your feet wide enough, maybe the toes in the back are curled under for support. Or for today, you can drop it down, put the shoelaces on the floor. Stack your hands on top of your knee and just hinge forward. And I want you to be mindful though today, guys, of not just plopping your belly forward. So give a little bit of a lift in and up. Okay, so drawing it back just a little bit, pulling the belly away from your thigh, and then holding that, not holding the breath, begin to send your knee forward. Shoulders are relaxed down and back, head is back or maybe slightly looking up. You can also opt, if you prefer, to just gently bring the chin down towards your chest. That'll create a little bit of length for your neckline, your cervical spine. You might feel a little wobbly here, so again, we don't have a lot of things by our sides right now, but you could have something to stabilize yourself on your hands. So slowly bring it back. Down your chin. Stretch out the hamstrings. We're trying to hit the inner and outer thighs, right? The front hip flexors, stretch out the hamstrings and also the glutes. All of it is good stuff. And just slowly bring your hands to the inside, bring that leg back, and step the left foot forward. Walking the toes forward. You want to have a nice little angle here for the stretch. Draw the belly slightly away from the left knee. Soften the back toes. Stack your hands on top of each other, shoulders down. This is a modified crescent lunge pose. So good for opening the front of the hip. Again, if you sit a lot, top 10 exercises for us, say top 5 for you to practice. And again, you don't have to have that knee lifted. This works just as well, but it's a little bit more easeful for the body, for the mind. And we have a tendency to clench the jaw, so just notice that. Maybe even open the mouth and move your jaw around. That's always a nice way just to release some tension in the face, jaw and neck area. Take one more breath. Remember, we inhale to prepare, so begin to draw back, exhaling out of the pose and sinking into the new pose. So if you're practicing at home, you're trying to build a home practice, anywhere from, if you have really long breaths, 5 breaths may be a really nice place for you to start. You can build to 10 breaths, okay? The longer you can stay in a pose, the more your muscles are going to react to that stretch, okay? When we go in and out and in and out and out, right, it doesn't give it time enough. Bow your chin, relax your neck. Left hand inside and draw it back. We want to come onto our seat. So I can't stress enough that forward bends and twists are so vital in helping to cleanse and move stuff through. So let's just do, it's called Janu Shirshasana. And again, I'm sitting on that blanket. If you're sitting on it, sit on like the edge of it, okay? Not the very, very, very edge, but I mean, just so the back of your thigh is hitting the blanket, maybe upper part of the thigh. And your left foot is in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall. So if you cannot sit up nice and tall easefully, stack the blanket a little higher, okay? Inhaling, reaching up. And exhaling, just gently hinging forward, allowing your back to round, bring your hands down where they want to go. If this bothers your right knee, put something underneath there, okay? Or you can slide it down a little farther if that's better. Experiment. It's not about touching your toes. It's never about touching your toes. It's about creating relaxation within the body as best as we can by feeling. So with every inhale, I want you to feel where that breath is going. In a forward fold, the breath does not, can't come into the belly because we're folded forward. So feel where it goes in the back. Breathing into your kidneys. That's a nice thing to think about. Slowly lift up. Draw it in and over. And lift the left arm up right into a twist. Twist to your right. And I'm going to clutch my knee with my elbow. Right hand goes back for support. Or you can do this, just straighten your arm and bring it across. Again, your spine is nice and long. And your breath, you're breathing in and out. You should think of a towel, rinsing out a towel, okay? The inhalation is sort of like that, clean, cleansing water coming in, but the exhalation is rinsing out whatever impurities might be there. Remember the first time I had that visualization, I was like, what? I loved it, and I've kept it ever since. Like, that is what I'm doing. I'm back to center. Shake it out. I'm cleansing from the inside out. I'm like, I am loving it. Yoga is about cleaning the inside the body. Spring cleaning, it is spring, reach it up. Spring for me here. Lily of the Valley, lilacs, azaleas, they're all coming in bloom. It smells beautiful, honeysuckles. So what's relaxing here too? Not just where your breath is going, but what's actually stretching and what's actually releasing. I want you to feel that for your own mind. Answer that question for yourself. Can you shift in a way that will create even more of a stretch or less tightness? So we sometimes hold back and we don't even realize we're doing it. And one last breath here. Inhale. Slowly again, releasing, lifting as you exhale. Preparing here, lift up and over. Right arm goes up. This is the breath in, twist to the left. And again, I'm going to hook the elbow. This is the breath out as we come into our twist. Creak. Spine is nice and long. So imagine you can touch your shoulders to a wall behind you if there was one. The head actually goes back as well. Rinse that towel. Take one more nice breath in as you lengthen. And as you exhale, can you go just a tad bit deeper? Good. Slowly come back to center. Shifting again. So this blanket was very useful today. I don't always use it, but I find that when I draw my attention to using it, like I'm going to use this today, I'm like, why don't I use this more often? Right. Back to that pillow, and you really don't want to have it be really thick underneath your head. You don't want your chin to come down so close to your chest that you're trying to squeeze a nut there or anything. So just have, barely an inch. You're going to lay down on your mat one more time. Reach those arms all the way back overhead. And hug those knees into your chest. Good. Bring the soles of the feet on the mat really wide. Let the knees fall to one side. If there's anything else you need to do before coming into final resting pose, bring your knees to the other side. Feel free to do it here. I like to do a little self-massage. This side has a tendency to get sore for me when I do a lot of work, especially with that rock wall, a lot of heavy lifting. You can jam your thumb in there. It's your body. Good. Once more, if you feel like it, to both sides. Fix your clothes, get really comfortable. Take your feet where you want them, take them wide, bring your arms wide, maybe goalpost arms. It always feels nice for me as long as your lower back isn't cranky about that. Get my clock. Take a moment to open the mouth and move the jaw around. Move your head a little side to side. Bow your chin slightly towards your chest just to elongate the cervical spine. Reach those hands up. Again, move a little side to side just to splay those shoulder blades wide on your back. We don't want to be all crunchy in there. Take a big breath in, let it out with a sigh. Coming into your natural organic breath, close the eyes and just breathe. Coming back to that gratitude and self-acceptance that you are everything you need to be, perfect just the way you are. Just be here for 2 minutes in silence. You can enjoy and reset. About halfway there. So notice if your thoughts are straying. Just bring the attention back to your breath, and notice if you're fidgeting. See if you can just really try to be very still. You need to deepen your breath once again. Take nice deep inhales into the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. You move your fingers and toes. Just want to awaken the body in a very kind way. Rotate the wrists. You need to rotate the ankles. Point and flex the toes. Bring those feet back towards one another. Reach the arms back overhead. Full body yawn and exhaling your knees into your chest. Rolling onto your right side. Slowly again, transitioning up to your seat. Just sit for a moment in awareness of how we feel. So just get yourself into a cozy position. Bring your palms together. Bring your thumbs to your sternum. This is called Anjali Mudra. It's heart. Anjali means heart. So you're drawing your thumbs to the center of your body, honoring your heart space. You know, they say the mind screams and the heart whispers. The mind screams and the heart whispers. And isn't that true? Our mind is going all the time. And we have to be able to stop and listen to what's really in our heart. What do we really need? So this practice of self-care, congratulate yourself with gratitude that you showed up to do this, because we all need rest. So honoring this practice, this restful practice today. Honoring yourself for doing this practice, doing this self-care routine, and honoring this practice of yoga. It might help us deepen our own sense of self-awareness, body awareness, mind awareness. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Bring your thumbs to center of your forehead. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, hinging forward. Namaste. Thank you, my beautiful friends, for joining me today for this day of rest. And I hope you have an enjoyable rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you're at. Till next time.